Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview play of God's Heist, the upcoming game from Triton Noir. And as always, no disclaimer, we accept no compensation for our crowdfunding coverage, we just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So God's Heist, like V Commandos and Assassin's Creed before it from Triton Noir, is a stealth game. In this case, you are in an ancient mythological world where the gods are real, but they have disappeared, and your marauders, your sort of hero thieves, are trying to go into the crypts and dungeons and places that the gods have forsaken to try to find artifacts to help humanity in its dark times. But the tombs and all that are guarded by these draconid guards, so you have to sneak around them or fight them and see if you can succeed in heisting the gods. Is heist a verb? The game itself has several expeditions. The prototype they sent me has 6, although I gather there are even more in the expansion that'll be part of the crowdfunding campaign. I'm going to show you the first one, the most basic one they suggest you start with, the Sacred Sanctuary of the Immortal, although I have already beaten this one in some of the later ones, so I'm going to play it on hard difficulty and see how that goes. And each scenario gives you specific setup, although you are randomizing the tiles and things, so these are replayable scenarios. It also has special rules. In this case, I get to put a collapse token on one of these tiles to show that I'll have a bonus when I enter this next tile. Basically, some rocks are going to destroy one of the spawn points. I won't have to worry about as many draconids. And then you also get a lot of other stuff that varies up how each scenario plays out. So first of all, you get a side quest at the start of a scenario. Mine is Potion Stash. It'll tell you what color tiles to use for part of the map. So not only are the tiles different each time you play, but the very makeup of what kind of tiles are in the game will change. And it gives me a little story. You were told about a place where a group of looters hid their potions. It might just be here. This is not something I have to do, but it's like a little bonus. Basically, if I loot these specific side quest spaces, I'll have a really good chance of getting some potions to heal me or boost me in other ways. You also get challenge cards. You always start with 1. These are little challenges that will level your character's dice up. So there's a bunch of challenge rolls you'll make throughout the game, like to move over tough terrain or to attack enemies. Your characters start with a D6, but each time you complete a challenge, you upgrade to a D8, then a D10, then finally a D12 is the max, and you draw another challenge card. Now, these are upgrades that are only for a given scenario, so if I start the next scenario, I'll be back down to a 6, but it, again, gives some nice variety to what you're trying to do. In this case, I have Tomb Raiders. If I can loot all the loot tokens on 3 or more of the 6 tiles, because there are 2 Marauders in the game, then I will level up to a D8 and get another card. And then finally, a really fun element to change things up play to play is planning cards. So in this intro scenario, they just tell you to use bribe, but how it normally works is you'll flip up several of these. I think it's 3, and each one has a gold cost because you're earning gold in addition to artifacts and items as you go through the game. And you can buy these things with that gold to give you little special bonuses, like maybe you'll start on a different part of the map or stun some enemies for free, that kind of thing. But for this intro scenario, they just give me bribe. When I reveal the objective tile, which is the place I'm actually trying to get to, where the artifacts are, I do not place one of the draconids that should be there. And yeah, the map had me shuffle in the one objective tile that, again, has the god artifacts I'm going for in one of these 3 spots, which is why these tokens are here. So I'll just go ahead and put that there to remind me that when I eventually start flipping those, when I find the correct tile, I'm going to have bribed one of the draconids away. I do start with 1 tile revealed. Let's zoom in a bit and talk about what's on these tiles. We'll put the Draconid back in a second. So first of all, you have spaces you can move through. There are square spaces, which are the only spaces the Draconids can move through, and circular spaces, which Marauders can move through, but Draconids cannot. So you can kind of move through these spaces, but you might be seen, and then you can also sneak into these spaces, and nobody can get to you. So for example, right here, the Draconid can move in between these places, and down here, once this tile is opened up, well, my Marauders could find this little like hole in the wall and take a little shortcut through here and then up to there and then get out. And the lines are similar. These dark lines are usable by anybody, Marauders and Draconids, while these dotted lines can only be used by Marauders. Similarly, line of sight for a figure continues along lines in each axis, like each direction, but the second there's like a curve or a change in direction, the line of sight is broken, but Draconids cannot have line of sight to these hidden spots with the dotted lines. So like if I was right here, I could see the Draconid, I could attack him, but he could not do anything to me. You'll also see the black and white arrows. Those are how the Draconids move around. Their activation cards will instruct you to have them turn and move. Importantly, they only have line of sight directly where their head is facing, whereas heroes can see all around them. So like if I was right here, this Draconid would not see me and would not try to start hunting me and attacking me unless, well, actually, I guess there's not really any way for him to easily turn here, is there? Because if he moves black, he'd turn that way, and if he moves white, he'd turn that way. There are also loot tokens. If we move into this space, we can pick these up and we'll get gold and equipment items and that kind of stuff. This is a secret passage. If we find other places like that on the tiles, then we can move from this one to other ones. Think like Clue, the board game. And then a lot of spaces, usually going into hiding places, will have the potential for damage or other things. So these are tests I need to take. So like if my character wanted to move in here, I would have to roll our dice. In this case, try to get a 5 or more, which I did not on a d6, although you'll see you can spend cards to boost your dice before you roll them. And if I fail, the little X is for the failure symbol, I would take 1 wound. This is the main loss condition of the game. You have a number of wounds in a little side deck based on player characters, with me controlling 2 Marauders, because as far as right now, there is no true solo mode in the game. We have 4 wound cards. And as characters get hurt, they just slot those wounds underneath them. First of all, characters have a certain number of wounds they can take before they're defeated. So like Solanor would be knocked down, and my other character would have to come and help them if they took 2 wounds. But also just overall, if all 4 wounds are exhausted from this deck of 4, then we immediately lose the scenario. And yeah, that's about it for the maps. We do not start on the map, by the way. We'll have to enter through one of these 2 exterior spaces, and that's also where we'll need to leave after we get the artifact, unless there are ways to create like other exits and stuff. But let's meet our characters and see what's up with them. So first of all, I took Solanor, a support character, healer, debuffer kind of guy. As you saw, he's very weak in terms of wounds. And each character has their own unique deck of 8 cards, although you'll add cards to this deck, equipment, artifacts you've looted from the gods, things like that. And each of these cards is multi-use. First of all, every card has in the upper left a modifier, most commonly +1, although some will have +2 or even minuses. And before any test for your character or for another character sharing a tile with them, you can discard as many cards as you want and boost the roll by that much. Like if Solanor discarded both of those, he would boost the roll by 3. For example, to let him get to those loot tokens I showed you earlier. But then also these cards can be played for actions, generally requiring their own test to complete. And importantly, the action system in this game, first of all, it's, I think, the coolest thing about the game. I'll talk about that more in my impressions later. But the action system in this game is very freeform. So any of your Marauders, any of your characters can take any number of actions from cards as many times as they want, even getting rid of all 4 of their cards, because you will get 4 more cards at the end of the round. But almost none of these cards will let you move or attack, do like the really important major stuff in the scenario. Instead, those kind of actions come from these action cards. And there are 3 action cards per character, so 3 of them here, I'll show you. 3 of them say Solanor, 3 of them say Draka, my other character. And then, based on player count, in this case it's 1 per Marauder, 2 of them say Draconids. And whenever we decide we don't want to play any more of our cards, because, you know, right now they can't move us or do very much, we're not even on the map yet. Whenever we decide that, we'll start flipping action cards. And when we flip a card for one of our Marauders, they can either save it, and you basically have 4 slots to save your cards in. Now, if I hadn't played a card yet, I would have to discard a card to be able to save this one. Or you can play it immediately. And these action cards are the things that actually give you movement or the ability to become stealthy or to attack Draconids that are next to you. Meanwhile, whenever a Draconid card is drawn, that's when you check and see if the Draconids can actually see you, if you're in their line of sight. That's called interception. So Solanor could theoretically come in here and just like chill for multiple turns in a row until one of those Draconid cards is drawn, and then we'll draw one of these interception cards. And these are super fun because they then like lead to other cards. You might try to bluff the Draconid, you might try to like dodge out of their way or bribe them, lots of cool things. But besides checking for interception when you get a Draconid card, you also draw the top activation card, and this is where the difficulty level comes in. Because on easy mode, you're just going to do the topmost thing. On medium, you're going to do 2 things. And on dangerous or whatever deadly, the hardest difficulty that I'm playing on, you'll do 3 things. So you can really make the Draconids way less of a challenge if you want. But after each action card is resolved, you get another chance to play as many player cards as you want. But the round only ends when all of the action cards have been resolved, and then you shuffle them all back together. Marauders discard every card they have and draw a new hand of 4, or not really a hand, you know, display, whatever you want to call it. And you go through it all again. So that's kind of the core concept of the game. So let's get into the actual play and see what we want to do. All right, so first things first, this Draconid is super annoying, but he is potentially pretty easy to attack if I move like Draka right next to him, for example, and then attack with her. Or is Draka a her? A him? Maybe a him? I don't know. Anyway, they're a tank. I kind of picked them to go with Solanor being a little bit weaker. Oh, I should say also Solanor is like keyed to this quest because you can switch out which characters you use in each scenario. He has a bonus when we actually get to the artifact. They tell you that like right in the scenario, like he suggested for coming along on this one. Similarly, different Marauders will have bonuses for side quests. So if I brought Crypto here, they would do better with the potion thing. But I really wanted to use Draka because they're super fun. Yeah, so I could have Draka come in and attack. Now, here's the thing. When you attack a Marauder, you roll your die and the Marauder die. It starts at a 10, and when the alarm goes off, once you take the artifact, it goes up to a 12. So there I actually would have won. If you can win the fight, you knock them down, and then you can kind of move them around, or there are some other effects that'll defeat them, although they can also, through activation, stand back up. But you know what? Honestly, let's just kill some people. Let's be a little violent. So I'm going to use Draka's cards. Let me show you what they have right now. So Draka's wound limit is 4. They have dodge +2, which means if we, through one of those interception cards, have to dodge from a Draconid, then they'll get a bonus of +2 to the roll. They have 1 equipment cards. Equipments and artifacts and things you get go into your deck, although usually equipment is single use, whereas artifacts you can use over and over again. That's what the symbol here means, that it goes back to the deck it came from, whereas this symbol means it just goes to your discard pile. Yeah, so Draka has a potion to heal themselves. They've got Carrier, which lets them move another Marauder with them. Basically, they can just pick up Solanor and bring them along. They've got a Tension card. These suck. Each character has 1 of these out of their 8. It is purely a negative card. You can't discard it through any means except through playing it, and you are forced to play it when you take your next test, like the first test of a turn. You'll just get a -1 to it. But here's the card I'm really looking at. Fury. +1 wound. That's bad. Move up to 3 spaces, ignoring any line of sight. Any Draconids in your path are neutralized. If your move ends on a space containing a Draconid, he is eliminated. Neutralized means knocked down. Eliminated means taken off the board entirely. So yeah, boom, we're getting a wound because we'll be able to use the minor potion to get rid of it in a second. And then, with that potion stash, we'll probably get some more potions, hopefully. And your first 1 movement space has to be to move like on the map. So we'll go 1 and 2. And yeah, Draka just ran on and murdered this guy. Now, during any move, if you have line of sight to a new tile, like Draka does right now, you can flip the tile over, but that does end your move. But I was ending my move anyway. So let's go ahead and see what we got. You do have to, whoops, I have it backwards. You'd have to keep north consistent. Technically, this entire board should be flipped 90 degrees, but I wanted to make it a little bit easier to, geez, we have 4 dudes? Or sorry, 2 dudes. But yeah, I wanted to make it easier to make this all fit on camera. Oh, this is interesting. Look, it's a bridge and like a little underpass. So you'll see that this goes straight to there. But the Draconid, well, that Draconid's like doing friggin' nothing. He's just hanging out down here. He can't see to there. Oh, and that's another secret passage. That's awesome. Yeah, this other Draconid is actually pretty annoying. Now, the scenario told me that I would get to put down a rubble token, or a collapse token it's called, on a Draconid spawn space. That also kills any Draconid there and blocks any more Draconids from spawning there. Now, if we move next to it, we have to waste an entire action card just to clear out the rubble, but it does mean that now the only Draconid that's really like blocking our path from continuing this way is already out of the picture. We also get a loot token here. Now, generally speaking, when you move into a space with a loot token, it doesn't end your movement. You can just grab the stuff and then keep on going. But for side quest loot tokens, which is where we'll find that potion stash, they have this little like starburst icon next to the space. Then you have to stop moving if you resolve the side quest. And similarly, this is a healing fountain. So if you move on to here and want to pick up the loot, then you have to lose the rest of your movement, but you get to also remove 1 wound. Oh, so maybe Draka won't have to use their potion at all. That's cool. And here, you know what? Now that we're getting into things, let's zoom out a bit more. All right, so that was Draka's 1 card. And we could take an action now, but you know what? No hurry. Let's use... Where is it? Yes, Solanor's Purification. Oh, this is a +2. Maybe we should keep this for Solanor to like try to get those loot tokens or something. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to use that yet. Let's just go ahead and flip our first action card, and it is a Draka card. So they can move to or attack an adjacent person. Well, there's no requirement to use these right away when you get them, and honestly, I'd rather keep them on the spot with the spawn point because that stops a Draconid from spawning there. So I'm going to hang on to that as my 4th card slot, although if we draw another Draca card, they'd have to discard one of these or use that action or something. All right, next action. Oh, he's also Draca. Okay, 2 moves or become stealthy on a round space. Because if enemies see you and stuff, you have to put one of these little red bases on your miniature, and that means you are hunted, and enemies can actually attack you, and worse things will happen to you. All right, well, I don't think Draca has a very good chance of getting in and out of that place. So let's have them go 1, 2. Oh, sorry, I am going to play this card immediately instead of hanging on to it. And that is kind of perfect because now they can pick up the loot, which in this case is an equipment card. We'll get that in a second. And they also heal their 1 wound. Yay. All right, so equipment cards, you pick it up. Oh, this is a potion. Wow. Major potion. You or another marauder in contact removes all of their wound cards and places them on the wound deck. That is pretty amazing. Now, when you get new cards like this, you can put them immediately into your pile of 4, or I could play it immediately, or you can just discard it. In this case, yeah, I'm just going to discard it because I'm happy to save that potion for later. I don't need it right now. Remember, I can now take as many actions as I want before we draw the next action card, so I could have Draca move 2 more. Oh, and sure, let's go ahead and use that, because this Draconid is facing the wrong way, and there's not even a white line to have them turn around. So I'll just be right here. I can't move into that yet, and when we draw the next Draca card, I can just have them get rid of the collapse. First, we got a Solanor card. Oh my gosh, 5 moves or an attack. They are fast. And I think I do want to use this immediately, right? Because I don't have any of their cards used yet. So let's go ahead and move 5 areas. And I'm a little bit scared about killing Solanor by moving here and then moving back and maybe failing these tests. Although, never mind. The arrow means that the test only applies when you go in that direction. So I'll have to roll a 5+ to not get hurt moving in, but not moving back out. With that being the case, let's definitely do it. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. And let's discard both Purification, which could let Draca get rid of the tension card in their hand. They could actually archive it, which means it's gone for the entire rest of the scenario. And Force Rest, which could stun a Draconid. We're going to get rid of both of those, give me a +3 to the test, because Solanor can only take 2 wounds, so 1 seems pretty bad. So +3, I need to roll a 2 or higher. Gosh darn it. Okay, that's great. So Solanor has gotten 1 wound, and Draca already used the healing fountain, but if Solanor can get next to Draca, then they can use the minor potion to heal them. All right, but that was 1, 2, 3. We've got 2 movement points left, and this is not a healing fountain or a side quest space. So we just get both of these, 1d4 gold, and ooh, that lets me heal a wound. That worked out great. Never mind, everything's fine. Yeah, so the gold, in this case I got 3, is kept between scenarios, and as I said, you can use it to buy planning cards, make your next scenario more successful, but also for like bribe results with the Draconids and stuff, sometimes you'll spend gold as well. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, do not have to roll, and then I think I'd rather keep them together on the same tile, 5, there we go. And by the way, they are not in contact for Draca to heal Solanor, they would have to move again. Okay, we still haven't gotten our first Draconid card, which is a little bit worrying. So let's see. Okay, it's Draca again for 3 move. Well, they'll just go ahead and use that. Well, actually, let's not use it to get rid of the rubble yet, because a lot of the Draconid cards will spawn people on either plus spaces or blue spaces, which both would apply here. So if we like wait until the action cards have all run out and the Draconids have already activated twice and then get rid of that, a lot safer. Okay, next is another Solanor card, though. I guess for now I can just hang on to it until Draca clears that spot. The danger of that, though, is that a new Draconid could spawn here, although they tend to face to the black direction instead of white, so the chances of a Draconid like appearing here and also seeing Solanor, pretty dang small. Okay, we only got 3 cards left. All right, so there we go, our first Draconid activation. So first we check for interception, but no, the only Draconid is looking the wrong way. And again, Draconids can never have line of sight to the circular spaces anyway. All right, then we draw our first Draconid activation. And they do get a chance to have interception to see you after each step. So we're doing all 3, remember, because we're playing on the hardest difficulty. So each Draconid moves towards black. This guy's already facing towards there. And if they would like move off the board, they just stay where they are. Okay, then +1 Draconid on the plus space of tiles containing a Marauder. See, this was a good choice because they would have spawned right there. We do get 1 here. And there is no black arrow, so they can only face towards the white in this case. And then finally, +1 Draconid in contact with one hunted Marauder, which means they had already spotted us. Face him toward the Marauder. Once you've been spotted, things get way more dangerous. Luckily, that does not apply to any of us, so that card's done. Let's keep on going. Might get another Draconid activation. Nope, there's Solinor's last one. We can save this too. Now, all your cards will go away, and these will go back to the action deck, so there's no point in keeping these until after the end of the round. But we can go ahead and do the last Draconid activation, and then just kind of freely run. So here we go. What you got for us? Okay, first neutralize Draconids. Get back up. No. Draconids move towards the black arrow. Doesn't apply for him, and no. And then +1 Draconid on blue spawn spaces. Great. Yeah, so our little dead guy just wants to come right back. But as I said, the default is facing towards black, so we're not in line of sight. If we had been, we would have had to draw an interception card. But yeah, okay, this worked out great. I mean, well, great, not in the fact that we have a billion Draconids in our retreat path, but great in that we have not been seen. And actually, I will say that, we got another secret passage here, a secret passage there. We might be able to, very quickly escape, because if we can go to this secret passage through here without dying from the wounds and then out, that's enough to get away once we've found the artifact in one of these 3 places. So let's finish out the round. So first I'm going to have Draka spend an action card to clear away the collapse token so that Solinor can go hunting. And let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so let's use the 3 movement, save the 4, because in order to flip this one over once we have line of sight to it, we would need to stop our movement anyway. So 3 moves. We could alternatively have drawn cards until we have 4 cards in front of us again, which is pretty dang good. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Got line of sight here, so let's check it out. Okay, and it is not our objective tile. That one will have an E here instead of a regular blue or red number. So the bribe thing is not going to apply yet. That only applies to the actual objective. All right, and we have a side quest loot here, and that's also the 3rd loot tile that if we cleared it out, would finish up Tomb Raiders and level us up to a D8. Heck yeah. But first, oh, hi. How are you, sir? Okay, he hasn't he hasn't seen us yet, but yeah, that's not my favorite. Now, Solinor is not really going to have a good chance of hurting that guy, and then this action card doesn't have an attack on it anyway, even if they wanted to try to punch this guy. So this is a tough one. I could have Solinor run back to here and try to wait, right? Because what would happen? I guess this guy would move on a black move. Oh, but the white arrow goes here? Yes, I don't know what the heck that means because they can't ever move through white. I wish I had that stun card now that I got rid of and used to boost the die, because then I could stun him and then he can run past stun people. Well, how about this? Let's have Solinor move 4, and I'm actually just going to switch with Draka. You can only have 1 miniature per space, but if you move into another Marauder, you just swap with them, because Draka is clearly the one who's going to be a little bit better at maybe fighting that dude. And then I think, yeah, Solinor's got this card. If I can get a 5+, I'll draw 2 Oracle cards, keep one and archive the other. Oracle cards are super powerful ones that stay in your deck for the rest of the mission. I can also get back an action card, but I don't want Draka to attack right now without enough to boost them. So I'm going to say a prayer. So I need a 5+ to get the Oracle cards. I'll discard this to make it a 4+. Now I don't, I think tension cards, do they have to be used on anybody on your tile or just yourself? I'm not 100% sure. The rules say it makes your first test more difficult, which makes me think that the first time you take a test, you have to use it, but not for somebody else. So with that being the case, I'm going to say Draka can spend their carrier card to boost Solinor to needing a 3+. And we'll see if that works out. Yes, it does. So we draw 2 Oracle cards and get 1 of them. All Marauders within 1 or 2 spaces of a round space or Draconid spawn space can move there. Oh, so it just gives us a nice free movement. Or Power Persuasion. If a Marauder must draw 1 interception card, test 5. Do not draw an interception card. Update the Draconids facing. I'm not sure what the update the Draconids facing part means. Maybe they face away from the Marauder or something. Yeah, neither of these is the best. A lot of them have really good boosts, but these ones do not. Well, I guess the sheltered one, free movement, is really cool. But for now, we're just going to end the round. There's not much else we can do. We'll have to try to deal with the Draconid problem in our face in a future turn. All right, so end of a turn, all your cards get discarded, I think including the tension card. You draw a new set of 4. There's a Solinor's tension card. And you shuffle the action cards. You always take back all the cards, so it's going to be the same ones you started with. And if any Draconids are stunned, you unstun them, and you're ready to go. All right, let's see what we ended up with before we decide whether to draw any actions. Solinor's got Regenerative Aura. to heal somebody. Pretty dang good. Oh, for each oracle card in front of you. So having that sheltered card will help. Got my tension card. Yay. Pacification. After drawing a Draconid action card, I have a chance to discard it without playing it. That would have their actions for the turn. And then kindness. When a Marauder is about to perform a test, I can test for 3+, and grant them a bonus equal to double their wound cards. And this is, each character has a card like this that can just like stay in front of you, and you don't have to discard it at the end of the round, although nobody's hurt right now, so I'm not sure that matters much. Meanwhile, Draka's got Daredevil. Draw 2 Marauder cards from your deck for each of your wounds. Maybe I shouldn't have healed them. I've got Bandage, which will get rid of wounds once, but then gets archived, so you can only use it once per scenario. Distinguished Fighter. This is Draka's one that they can hold on to. Each time you eliminate a Draconid, store 1 Draka token on this card. And then when you make an attack test, you can discard the card and get +1 for each token on it, so you can kind of like just beef yourself up between rounds. And then finally, Rock Throwing. If there's a Draconid, this is one I'm going to play, by the way. If there's a Draconid in your line of sight, why, there just happens to be one. Test on a 4+, you place a Collapse token on their space. On a 3 or less, that's what the X means, you place a Collapse token on a space adjacent to them, which would not be helpful to us. So yeah, let's throw a rock. And we want to make sure this works. I don't think I need Bandage right now, so that would get it to a 3+. I don't think I need Daredevil either. That would get it to a 2+. We aren't going to roll a 1 again, right? What are the chances? And yeah, there we go. So Draka picks up a rock and smashes it on that guy's head, which does immediately eliminate him. I'm not sure which tokens we're supposed to be using, so I'll mark Draka's card with this one. All right, so that was pretty good. Now we have... I guess Draka would have to clear that away, but soon we will have free reign to move. All right, so let's see what we get. Oh, it's a Draka card. Awesome. So I'll discard that immediately. So that now either of my characters can get through here, although hopefully they won't spawn on red immediately. Nope, Solanor is going to go ahead and move 3. And I really want to get this. Oh, I guess this is showing me that like I'm a little bit into which way I move. Again, it's just weird that they're using the same white arrows as the Draconids use. Yeah, maybe I can only enter from here and then exit from there. Okay, so either way, yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. That is a side quest, and it's the 3rd tile we've cleared off, so several things are going to happen. Let's first see what we get. Oh, there's a new secret passage. Nice, so another way to get to the exit faster. Okay, next Potion Taker says each time a Marauder picks up the loot token from a side quest space, draw the top 3 cards from the equipment deck, or if it was Crypto, I'd draw 6, and if I get a potion, I can keep 1. And that would be a big fat no. I got to scroll and 2 bombs. Oh well. But hey, last and probably best, there are no loot tokens left on 3+ tiles, so I level up and draw a new challenge card, which means I'm now rolling a D8, almost as good as the Draconids. All right, and what's my new challenge? Exposed. All Marauders on the site, that means this is all the ones like still on the board, are hunted, and there are 4+ tiles revealed. Okay, but hey, if things go really terribly and like the Draconids just track us all down, at least I'll level up easily. All right, so Solanor got through the dangerous spot. Let's see. Solanor again. I don't really need them to move yet. But I can't discard the tension card. These are all pretty good. Well, I don't really care about the kindness one. Yeah, sure. Let's discard kindness just to make room for this because, again, nobody's got wounds for that to boost them. And let's keep drawing because I don't really want to move yet. Oh, there are the Draconids. And actually, should I try to do... Yeah, I was going to say, it would really suck if a guy spawned there. So let's have Solanor do Pacification to discard that action card without actually resolving it. So that's a 5+. I have an 8 now, and I'm going to discard Regenerative Aura. Oh, crud. I got to do both, don't I? Yeah, so I'll discard both of these. So it's a +1 overall with a 4+ on a D8. And if I do this, I cancel the action card. Gosh darn it. Okay, well, whatever. Hopefully we won't spawn somebody on red. Okay, Draconids attack. No, Draconids move towards black. All right, so this guy goes there. He's already facing. That's it. And then 1 Draconid on blue spawn spaces. Blue. That one. Okay. Jeez. Well, there's a lot behind me. By the way, if you run out of Draconids, like they're already on the board, you take the farthest away Draconid from the Marauders and like place it on a near spot. Okay, well, that was lovely. We're both down to not much left card-wise. Oh, Solanor's got another move. What the heck? They got no other cards. Might as well hang on to it. Draka's got a move. Well, yeah, again, I think... Well, no. I don't want to leave them with, like, the red potentially affecting them. So let's actually go ahead and move. Okay, so 3, right? Let's go 1, 2, 3. See if this is the target objective. Oh, and it is. And because of our bribe, we do not place one of the Draconids that should be there. So that guy's not there. Oh, wow, so that's all. All right, and we got 2 more loot, although our challenge card doesn't deal with that anymore. So yeah, that planning card was friggin' great. And now each artifact place has its own way to kind of trigger the end game and get the artifact. For this one, it says you have to pray to reveal the artifact and retrieve it. After a Marauder is moved to the objective space, determine the total number of actions to perform to pray. If Solanor is on it, Marauders there must spend as many actions as Marauders, so 2 action cards. These are action cards, the square ones, not just any card. And if it's not Solanor, we would need twice as many action cards. So if Solanor moves here and Draka moves here, they got to discard 2 cards. Or Solanor could go there by themselves, but they have both their remaining action cards, so they have to wait until next turn. But I mean, that still might be worth doing. Although they've got no way to protect themselves from the 50-50 chance of getting wounded. But yeah, I should probably do it before that blue guy potentially shows up. So, okay, let's go and use their 4 move. Is that enough? 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Neither of them have any modifying cards left, so it is just a straight-up 50-50. 6. Awesome, so they do not get hurt, although this one does not have an arrow, so they will have to take the test going back. So if they had 2 action cards, they could now use them to secure the artifact, which would start the alarm and add some new rules, and that would be fun. But they only got 1 card, so for now they'll just hang out. And let's see. Oh, we got another Draconid card. Okay, what's this one? Remove a collapse token on blue and spawn spaces, and then add a Draconid to a blue spawn space. Oh, crud. They're looking right at Draka. Shoot. Okay, and this one's not. But yes, before we even resolve the next few parts, we have to see if they're spotted. Oh, man. So we draw the top card of the Draconid Interception deck, and we see what we got. The Draconid takes a step back. He glances left to right and then declares, "Hope you got what it takes to make me close my eyes." Okay, draw 1 bribe card. So these are fun. Each type is its own deck, and the cards are double-sided. So it says, you whisper, "Turn a blind eye for once and accept these coins in exchange for your silence. -4 gold coins. We only have 3. Yeah, so we fail it automatically. Crud. Is that it? My silence is worth at least double. If you don't have enough gold coins, you are hunted. The Draconid keeps facing you and attacks you with +1. Shoot. Yeah, so normally when you succeed at any of those cards, you'll either make the Draconid face a different way, or you will eliminate them entirely, like remove them from the board, or they can attack you. They have ranged attack. They're throwing spears at you. You normally have to be next to them to attack. So even if I beat them in the roll right here, the best I'll do is prevent them from doing anything else. So what are they doing? Attacking me with +1? Shoot. Oh, and let's go ahead and put my base here. If they're neutralized, they're going to get back up, and then they're going to attack again. So I got this +1 token. Let's actually save this for their second attack when I have a better chance of succeeding. Okay, so here they're rolling their D10. I'm rolling a D8. They have +1. And, oh, I actually beat them. So if I was next to them, I would have neutralized them. But sadly, I just don't get hurt in this case. Okay, and all that happened with an interception after the E effect. So now if I had neutralized them, they would have gone back up. And then they attack again. But no +1 this time, and I am going to discard Draka's Distinguished Fighter for a +1 to the roll, which I think makes it more like 50-50 in my favor, or not. Okay, so I take a wound. Yay. But you know what? I'm not worried, because guess what? I've specifically saved Solanor's attack card, because when you attack from a hiding spot next to a Draconid, you automatically win the fight. It's like a little surprise attack. So he got neutralized. He's not gone, but he's also not standing. And then the last action card is Draka's 2 move or attack. Let's go ahead and have him move like that. So they can also take the place of a Draconid. And if you would move into a Draconid who's already neutralized, like if they would be forced to go into a circular spot, they get removed and are killed instead. All right, so yay. We're ready to grab the artifact. We got 1 friend in our face, but we also have some really well-positioned hiding places. We could go from there to there, secret passage, auto-defeat the Draconid, and then run out if we can just survive the next round. Yeah, nobody had any cards left this time, so let's go ahead and get our cards back. All right, Draka's got tension, blah. Ooh, bandage to heal themselves. That's good. Ooh, the carrier. Oh, so after Solanor gets the artifact, Draka can like move with them to kind of fast track. And then Cry of Rage we didn't see yet. Test 5+. So you're being hunted. Oh, so either way, if you use this card, you become hunted. But if you succeed, you can neutralize up to 2 Draconids on the tile. So that's pretty cool if that one stands up or more try to come. Okay, and Solanor, got Pacification, the one that can cancel a action card again. Purification to get rid of a tension card. We could do that for Draka. We got Sheltered, which might actually be super useful to get us some free movement after the artifact is grabbed, and the Kindness one. Oh, actually, we have wounds now, right? So when a Marauder is about to perform a test, grant the Marauder a bonus equal to double their wound card. So that would actually make Draka go up by +2. Which makes me question, do I just hang on to the bandage right now? Well, despite Solinor's kindness, I want to have a spot to hold on to action cards so that Draka can wait for Solinor to be ready to actually get the artifact. So let's go and use the bandage. This card gets archived, so we're not getting it back, but the wound goes away. We would roll a d4 and get rid of that many wounds, but clearly 1 is fine. All right, so that's cool. And I think that's all I want to do for now. So let's start drawing actions and hope that Solinor comes up first. Oh, there we go. So, that's right. I need to actually make space for it. Let's get rid of kindness. Oh, wait, I just realized it says any Marauder on the tile can help to pray. But since Solinor is there, if we get one more Draka action, we can actually pray right now. So that's great. Or we can just do 2 Solinor actions. So, boop, we got the objective, but now it's alarm time. Oh, first we get the artifacts, though. So they have different artifact sets for each set of 3 scenarios. So I'm going to draw 2 from the Catacomb of the Gods, and I get to pick one and archive the other. Winged Sandals of Hermelas, the Lightning Quick. So I can use this card. This becomes a card in my deck that I can use over and over. Move over to 2 spaces and automatically pass your tests on dotted lines. That's great. Or the Infallible Grapple of Sashana the Transparent. If there's a Draconid in your line of sight, test. Oh, I'm basically trying to grappling hook him. I can stun him and bring him into contact with my Marauder, or bring the Draconid to the space in contact with your Marauder and face him toward you. Well, that's not necessarily great. This one is going to be good for Draka, and the thing is, these artifacts, once you get back to base, just kind of go into your supplies. You don't have to keep them with the same person. But I think the Winged Sandals are going to help us escape most easily here. All right, then we draw an alarm card. There are a bunch of these, and they kind of add a little tension element near the end of the game. What's this one? You hear the flapping wings of a creature flying over the site. It screeches as it dives towards you, then rises and dives again as if trying to indicate your position. Oh, God, we're all hunted and can no longer become stealthy. Yay. I mean, for Draka, this is kind of how they want it, but Solinor, not so sure. Although, hey, all Marauders are hunted and there are 4+ tiles revealed. We have a D10 now. And some of the alarms level up the Draconids, but this one didn't. So we're actually on an equal footing with them, and we can spend cards to boost our rolls. And we do get another challenge to go to a D12. From now on, Marauders eliminate more Draconids than Marauders in play. So we have to eliminate 3 Drakids. Maybe. Ooh, you know what, y'all? This might be a little wasteful, but I kind of like it. Look, the Winged Sandals of Hermelas say I can move up to 2 spaces and automatically pass tests on dotted lines. This is for Solinor, I'm thinking. So look, 1, 2, when you move on to a neutralized Draconid, they go to the last free space you occupied, which in this case is a circle, which means this guy is done. We just threw him into the collapsing altar as a boulder rolled down Indiana Jones style. And hey, that's 1 out of 3 for Leave No Trace. And yeah, they can't spawn near us. Oh, I guess they could spawn there. But we're in a good spot. And we still have all 3 of Draka's action cards in here, but only 1 for Solinor. But Draka can carry Solinor. Now, let's see what we have. There we go. Draka gets a 2 move. Oh, crap. We can't move into there. So we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hey? Let's do it. So let's carry. So you get +1 move, and you can move 1 Marauder in contact with you and then place him on an empty space that you have passed through. Oh, so not quite as good. I probably shouldn't have Solinor moved already, but that's okay. So 1, 2, 3 instead of 2. And then Solinor will go right there. Ooh, and then Solinor is sheltered. Lets all Marauders within 1 or 2 spaces of a round space or Draconid spawn space move there. Which, 1, 2, boop. We'll get them there. Now the blue... Still looking at Solinor. I don't love that part. But if Draka can move over here and then neutralize that guy, we at least have a path to run away from. Now, let's see what happens. Oh, there's another Draka. 3 move. Yes, we're going to go, just 1. So I guess that whole +2 movement thing didn't really matter at all. But now they can attack and automatically neutralize that Draka if they get an attack. Okay, Solinor's got 5. Well, this is good at least. 1, 2, 3. They won't be able to be seen by anybody. Okay. Oh my gosh, Draka again. Oh, it's not an attack. Darn it. Okay. We'll just hang on to that, I guess. That means the last 2 are Draconid cards, but we shouldn't be able to be seen, right? We're both hidden. Let's see. The first one says Draconids attack. Draconids move towards white. But again, I don't think they can see that. And that guy goes there. Oh, that guy goes there. Hey, that's even better. Oh, wait, now Draka can actually escape. Wait, what else? Remove collapse tokens on red spawn spaces. Oh, and then spawn on red. Do we have any red showing? No, that's covered up. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use Draka's 2 move that they saved. to make their escape while that guy's looking away. They do have to roll a 4+ or take a wound. But they can use Cry of Rage for +2. The tension is automatically -1. So they need a 3+ on a D10. Seems pretty light. God, why all these ones? Okay, it's fine. I got a wound, although I will note that wounds like stick with you and make you start the next scenario worse. But I wouldn't have to bring Draka into the next scenario. I could pick another character. All right, then we get another Draconid activation, and we just got to get Solanor out of here. Let's see what this one is. Draconids move towards white. Oh, yeah, this is great. Get out of there, boys. Again, I don't think that counts. They can't move onto circle spaces. They can't have line of sight there. I think it's just showing that we get limited. They face toward Hunted Marauders and attacked. Thank God that I'm in a hidden space. And add a Draconid on +1 space on tiles containing a Marauder. It's right there. And I think we ignore cards for Draka now and just kind of redraw. Okay, so we got the tension. That part's not great, but we got a really good plus card. We can stun a Draconid if we get like bad luck and they move back to block us. And we can get back an activation card. So yeah, it's pretty solid. And okay, Draka, we don't care. Come on, Draka. Draconid, come on. Well, they shouldn't be able to do much. There's no red spawn spaces. They can't face toward me and attack. Oh, they move towards black, which means... this one. At least they aren't totally blocking it yet since they made a double move there. Yeah, they're really all up on, aren't they? Come on, just need soul. Oh, 5 move. That should be enough. Yeah, so let's go 1, 2, 3. We just got to do the 4+. We can blow every card we got, right? So +2, +3, +4, -1 is +3, which means it's automatic. Woo! So we get out with a big potion added to our deck. We didn't even use the minor potion. Those also go into a pool that we can freely split among our characters. We got a cool bonus movement artifact for next time. And we got a pretty paltry 3 gold coins. Not sure if that'll be enough to buy a good planning card. But yeah, that is how fast one scenario plays in the game. And you'll see that while the scenarios get tougher and have like more specialized things you have to do, they don't really take too much longer. Well, except that you might have to explore all of the tiles, but they tend to be 6-tile maps. So this should be a pretty quick game, and you should be able to do several scenarios in a row if your group wants to. But what do I think about God's Heist so far? What do I like? What am I a little bit concerned about? Well, on the like side, I think the movement and the stealth is super intuitive, a very straightforward system. The rulebook's actually quite short, and it still covered pretty much all the possibilities in the game. I think the ability to sneak around pretty freely, but then having to be really careful because they could turn around, they could potentially see you. And that combined with these fun little narrative events that give you a chance to sort of avoid detection are quite fun and thematic. Although I will say in some of my plays, you kind of saw it here, sometimes like with the hiding spots being, if I'm playing them correctly, so like universally powerful, like literally no number of guards could find me in here. You often do have the ability, especially if you have a more aggressive character like Draka, to avoid detection. And since a lot of like the goofy narrative kind of comes from those cards, here I only drew a single one, a bribery that I couldn't do. I do hope there's even more opportunity for stealth and all that kind of stuff. Although clearly if we had like more characters or if we were playing on a tougher map where a lot of the enemies weren't taken out for us for free, I think we would have had to deal with stuff much more. As you saw, there is a decent amount of dice luck, although usually you get to pick and choose your battles, and you can use cards to make something a sure thing. And I do like how the dice level up as you complete those side quests. You totally don't have to do it, but the mechanic of getting stronger as you complete those side objectives is pretty neat. I also really like how unique each of the characters is. Their decks feel super different. You can see that Solonor's tricks were very different than Draka's tricks, and playing with different characters should change up the experience quite a bit. And now I got to get to my favorite thing. This action system is one of the coolest like initiative activation systems I think I've ever seen. I just adore it. The fact that you have so much freedom to do a lot of stuff, but then you have the tension of these flips, and then you can like save your actions for later and then burst forward when you're ready. It's an awesome system in general, but I love how it works with the stealth of the game because it kind of models, and I'm thinking of like stealth video games here, for example, how in those kind of games you can have like a bunch of enemies in your way, but then you wait for their route to get them out of the way, and then suddenly bursts of speed, you can run over, attack them, like do all this really cool stuff. And in a way, it fixes one of the big problems with stealth games that have like sort of guard routes and this kind of stuff, where you can sort of feel like you're wasting your turn while you wait for guards to get out of the way. In this game, worst case scenario, you just save up all 3 of your action cards and then like move and attack all at once instead of like those actions actually being gone. And that combined with like how you spend these other cool things, use your character's powers, spend artifacts as you get them, I just think it's like really, really neat. I would love to see other games use something similar to this because the sort of ebb and flow of actions missions, the scariness when the enemies actually activate, and trying to make sure you're not in a dangerous place when that happens. Plays really well in a stealth game, but I think it could work for like skirmish and other type of games as well. Now, another open question is the campaign itself, that it's 6 scenarios, that the layout changes and the tiles are different each time, and then like the planning cards and stuff, and the special rules for scenarios. I think this will give the game good replay, but I am curious about the expansion they mentioned and how the other scenarios will kind of add stuff in. Because I think, for my taste, a 6-scenario campaign is kind of perfect. I could see playing through this entire thing in like 2 sessions. And again, when you play again, the tiles will be different, the puzzle will be different, you can play on a higher difficulty. But I'm sure some backers are going to want like 50 scenarios. And, you know, it remains to be seen if the expansion will add like more variety and more types of missions and just kind of keep the puzzle of the game alive. But thanks for watching, everybody. The crowdfunding campaign should be live soon. Check the link in the video description. You can either save it or check it out now. And I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you at the next stop.